The heart of every good home is the kitchen, and in this special segment we're focusing in on what makes it tick. We head to Adelaide into renowned chef Adam Swanson's own home for some tips on kitchen design, some food stories, and of course, a mouth-watering recipe to get you inspired.
Hi, I'm Adam Swanson, and today's recipe is donuts. Who doesn't love donuts? But in particular, I'm making gluten-free ricotta donuts with a hint of lemon. These are absolute crackers, simple to make and so tasty. Everyone's gonna love them. The kids will be at your legs going, give me more, mum and dad. So we need to get firstly 3 eggs into a bowl. Now make sure that your eggs are at room temperature. This is a must because you're gonna whip these up in a minute and we want them to come nice and fluffy. If they're in the fridge, this ain't gonna happen. Okay, 1/2 cup of caster sugar. Some vanilla sugar, which I like, that's my little extra kick. The zest of 1 lemon. Now, when you cook it in the kitchen, you know, I think every time I say this, I think of my wife because she's the one that always says this to me. She says, clean up after you're cooking. Every time you do something, clean up. It's true because you don't want to have pots and pans everywhere. You want to work nice and clean and seamless. A sink should be only 2 to 3 steps away. A bin should be 1 to 2 steps away. So working clean produces clean area, clean mind, and tasty food. Time for a bit of a whisk up. So about a minute or so, you need to whisk these together to get them nice and creamy. There we go, look at that. Nice and creamy eggs, okay, with the sugar and lemon. Here I have some gluten-free flour, about 1.5 cups that I've sifted, 2 tablespoons of baking powder. Just mix the baking powder and the gluten-free flour together. Now, time for our traditional Casa del Formaggio ricotta that we're about to add in, about 250 grams into the eggs. Now, we're just gonna give it a real little light pulse. I don't wanna overwork it too much, break down all the ricotta. I want a little bit of texture in my donuts. Now, time to add in our flour and baking powder. Softly folding it through. Best way to do a fold is to bring it up, around, and cut it like a pie. So you're just gonna mix it until it's all nice and combined, and you have a nice dough. Our dough's just nice and formed together. Now, I'll have some veggie oil that I've had on here, just heating away about 160 to 170 degrees. Grab 2 of the same size spoons, drop 1 into the oil, and then drop the other one in. Now, there's no perfect shape here with these. Just drop them in, back into the oil. As long as it's a tablespoon size, because they're going to take about a minute, minute and a half to cook. Okay, so when they're looking like that, golden brown, just remove them from the oil into some paper towel lined bowl. Just gonna absorb all that excess oil, if there's any, and allow them to cool. Now, don't be scared, they're gonna keep cooking. The residual heat within is gonna cook it all the way nice and through. So what we wanna do is take the rest of our mix, repeat the process with the spoons until they're all cooked, and then we're gonna finish them off with a little garnish. There we have it, the lucky last one coming out of the oil. So allow your oil to cool down. Here's a tip. Instead of throwing out your oil, grab an old 2-litre ice cream container, get a sieve, put some chucks in it again or some paper towel and just pour it through and it'll take away all those little scraps of dough and you can use that oil again. So no wastage. There you have it. There's my gluten-free ricotta donuts. If you love this recipe, head to the Open Homes Australia website and also check us out on Facebook and Instagram.